Please pay attention because today's talk is different from whatever you see on that cheap Google search of yours. I want women to be attracted to you, to find you irresistible. I understand that some of you get heads turned by your grooming and handsomeness, but when it comes to relations, not so much. I will make you an attractive male who will turn any lady in your place of interest towards you. Be mindful because at the end of this talk, you might walk out and turn on more women than necessary. 7 charisma tricks to turn her the heck on, and it is proven. Understand me, boys. I am aiming for a home run with every single one of you included. If you're not interested, I suggest you leave. I expect success stories at the end. Let's delve into it already. It is a very subtle quality that a significant percentage of men lack. Our society suffers deficiencies from men with selflessness. The first key to charisma is letting her talk about herself. Please leave an impression that her secrets are safe with you. Then you shall know the truth, and it shall make you accessible, says the good book. When you know Annabelle true and true, you become free, and she becomes indebted to you because of what she has said. Attraction and being turned is a desire in the recipient that needs to be sated. When she tells you about herself, you listen. She wants to reward you. When she becomes impressed with your listening and engaging skills, it is proportional to her being turned on. Try to engage with her. Don't just listen. Make eye contact and engage emotionally. When she says something that you disagree with, don't just try and please, but tease her while telling her what you think. You want to leave her transformed and light from the burden she once had. When you let her speak and air your opinions lightheartedly, that damsel fills your confidence and objective listening skills. If you want to compliment or say what you feel about her point, I want you to be comfortable and be as unique as possible with your comments. I used to be that guy who loved being too logical and analytical over every single point. But when I saw it scored me no chicks, I had to step in and correct that error. Don't get me wrong, it is good to be logical and it's very good to be analytical. But when used at the wrong place in the wrong time, it really dulls your life. Very few ladies want to dabble with facts when they engage with guys. And when they do, the facts talk for themselves. When they engage with you, they want to be emotionally touched. Some of you turn the conversation into a job interview. It will take providence and luck to settle down if you don't stop being too factual with ladies. I mean, I don't get it. When a guy comes to a bar and busies himself talking about chemistry, if you want to talk about sodium chloride, you should have stayed in the lab. And speaking of chemistry, there ain't any here. When you stare into her eyes, please make the conversational emotional. Turning on a lady depends on the emotion. If you're good at your game, you might even turn her on talking about chemistry. That is why you have to learn delivery. The way you say a point should incite emotion. I could say, I love the fact that you studied chemistry. What inspired that? Or I switched majors for love. What stupid stuff have you done for love? I'm trying to maintain some sanity in this lecture because there are many ways that conversation can go. You look amazing today. I assume that's how you make your compliment. If that's you speaking, then you'd better stop talking and listen. That compliment is far too shallow and has zero uniqueness whatsoever to it. I want you to be unique, not some cheap dude who pays no attention to what he says. I want you to switch up. Do the compliment right. That damsel is seeking to get turned on and no guy wants to do it right. What I'm saying is that many guys she's met this day have said the same thing. Alicia probably hears that every day, not just from boys, her mom, her brother, even her father. Everybody tells her that.
Listen, by watching these videos, I know you aren't one of those losers who think they already know everything. Even if you've only watched one video on this channel, you still clicked on it, and that shows that you have a fire inside of you to start improving. You already showed the willpower. The only thing you need is a path. I've put down 10 modules which you can see as ladders. Every module or ladder will exactly explain to you step by step how to get to the top. From achieving peak masculinity, advanced testosterone optimization, getting women, mastering the game of exchanging value, to actual money-making methods, and even more. I have literally laid the groundwork for you to become jacked, attractive, rich, and of high social status. You don't lack motivation. You just lack the knowledge and trust in the path that you're taking. You can continue messing around in the never-ending cycle of taking paths that lead to nothing, or click the link in the description down below.
You just have to understand what you're up against. Going with a weak line, like, "You look amazing," it's just funny. Women can smell fakeness from afar. I used to wonder why they like the bad boys, but the truth is, bad boys tend to be more sincere, and in sincerity lies your uniqueness. You have been talking to her for a while. You should compliment her for the time devoted to the conversation, or that she can narrate an event accurately. Wow, I really like the way that you narrated the whole thing. It's really rare to find people of such style. You considered writing? When you tailor your compliment to your environment, the current event, and what you find interesting, it leaves her wanting more of you. It's like a vampire looking for blood, and when they see that sweet, sweet nectar, they latch onto it and they do not let go. We all have problems, but the worst thing you can do as a person is give someone else all of your problems. I used to know this chick that whenever I hit her up to check on her, she always complained about her life and in the end asked for money. I don't think it's terrible to confide in someone that you trust, but you gotta understand that everyone who knew her complained about the same thing. I started moving away from her, as did all of her friends. This world has its problems, and until you die, there will always be something that bothers you or needs to be fixed. But I implore you not to let it control you or decide what you say to people. When that cute damsel comes around, you want to make her laugh and talk about the positivity of life. When you don't bring bad stuff up, it limits you from being too personal. So you don't want to talk about your problems, but her successes and what she believes would be good. If she gets a positive vibe from you in a world filled with negative energy, she would want to return for more. Remember that vampire analogy. Give her what is rare and genuine, and she will fall at your feet. Turned the heck on. Getting that overly gorgeous beauty on a high note requires more than the above-mentioned points. After you've done the good and caring aspects of the conversation, you want to get dirty as quickly as possible. As the sales proverb goes, always be closing. If you're not closing, my friend, you are doing something wrong. You want to switch up the conversation to flirt mode. You want to keep talking about her life, but shift towards her telling what you could do in the bedroom. But remember, class, skill, and delivery. Talked about that earlier. If you've done the other part right, you shouldn't experience a huddle when making her tell you about her ex. I want you to understand that if she opens up to you about her mistakes, then you've started gaining or you have gained her trust. If the boyfriend was a narcissist or performed poorly in bed, then you could switch the conversation to your ability to satisfy ladies. Never go direct, but speak by implying. Ladies say by suggesting, and very few go direct. Compliment her cleavage, but talk about its uniqueness as something you liked. Don't just say, "I like the way your cleavage jumps out. This is something about the way that it's all accentuated." Turn the conversation sensual. Talk about breasts, anything sexual. And by the way, the symmetry of your breast and the way it creates like perfect cleavage is what many ladies die for. Did you get like surgery on that? Nah, of course not. That's all natural, huh? Something along those lines might get you going, depending on how far in you already are with this lady. So switch it sexual, boy. This point should have been given at the very beginning. If you've gotten to this part, then you are someone who's decided to change your situation. When you've switched up the conversation and start talking about her lips, breasts, butt, doing it by implying the next thing that you want to touch is her. Look, it doesn't matter what anybody tells you, but when your cold arm connects to that damsel who's warm from all your dirty talk, she'll get more turned on. Ladies are very sensual. Their sense of touch is more heightened during sexual conversation. And when you touch her, boy, oh boy, sets her heart running faster than ever, especially when you've done the other parts right. Charisma doesn't just end with how you present yourself, but also how you manage a situation. When you compliment her necklace and how men of certain cultures would die to have a girl like her talk to them, you want to move forward and tell her you mean it. I like the hair. How long did it take you to do that? You say. Please don't stop there. Move forward to touch the hair, or get close to her, or put your hand over her hand, or something. I knew a guy who didn't mind holding the breast of a lady when flirting got intense. You gotta understand that, appropriately done, ladies like being touched. Touch her neck, waist, arm, other parts as the environment permits. God, don't be creepy, but be charismatic. I know the last point seems to counter what your goal is, but the truth is if you've gotten to the touching stage of flirting and feeling her sensitive region, you want to walk away. Women don't want to be satisfied. You gotta leave them wanting more. If you let that moment wear out, she becomes numb to your moves and you gotta start over. Leave while the game is still hot and leave her wanting more. When she knows that you're capable of more but is unsatisfied, trust me, buddy, that lady's gonna be turned on whenever her eyes fall on you. And who knows, you might take it to the next level. Please stop being a shy guy and make use of your charisma today. The points are streamlined. Follow it and you will achieve success. Click on the following video to make that girl love you even more.